What up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Damn, it's been a minute, brother. It's been
Yes,
a
sir.
been a while since we caught up. Um, Glad to see you looking good. Like the spectacles, like the bucket, always looking fresh. So, yeah.
Right
So
on, good brother.
um, yeah, it's been a minute. I'm excited about this one. Salute everybody joining in. Um, Technically, this is an episode of Talking Crazy with our man A Plus. We had a monthly show for a while going on about mental health. A Plus has been all over God's green earth the past year, and so tonight we're just gonna chop it up, catch up. I don't really have any major things to we're just bouncing around, catching up, and you guys are just in. So I haven't talked to my man in a while. He's been traveling. I last saw you at the Ann Arbor, Michigan show
Yeah,
last
yeah,
summer, and then
yes,
I was in Brooklyn, and for the one of Brooklyn was great. That was a great show. But
yeah.
so we're just gonna talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Just catch up and just want to see what's going on. I want to hear about some parts about the tour and stuff. Got some a couple things that just get your opinion on, but we're just building, man. So all
Word
right,
up.
everybody,
Yeah.
if you got questions for A Plus, please use the question feature below. We'll pull them up if they work with what we're doing. So yeah, we'll jump right into it, man. What I wanted to really get into, and we was trying to schedule it, was like the like just a build with all of you guys, coming back from this tour because that tour was so like just amazing to me. I mean, I calculated the months, and I'm like, damn, these cats have been on the road like a couple breaks, but like damn near like 75% of the year. Like it was crazy. So,
Yeah.
just um how, my biggest question was just sitting there as I'm watching and I'm seeing people post shit, and I went to two shows,
Hmm.
and the energy was off the chart for both of them as far from you guys. So like, how do you keep it up, man? Where you're in a different spot, you're doing the same joints. I mean, maybe some variation here or there with some shit, but right, the same shit, the same joints, with dope joints, all time joints. But damn, like, so how did you stay on point?
Man, brother, it was first of all, good to talk to you, man. Good to see
Yeah,
you, my brother. Good to see you, my brother. It was good to see you at the shows as well. Man, it was it's kind of like the same thing, man. It's like when you're performing and touring, you get the recharge from the crowd every night. It's tiring doing that. I mean, we were out there. I mean, over 20 countries, 125 shows last year alone, and also in the middle of that, in the midst of all of that, recording a new record as well. So we were working all year. But the thing about it is, we give our all on the stage, and we try to put it all out there for all the people who came to who paid their money. We're fans as well, so I know what it's like to buy tickets and go see somebody. I want to get my money's worth, man, and we're just fans on stage, man. So we uh we go out there, no matter how tired we may be or how how much of a physical workout it is. We're doing over an hour every night, close to an hour and a half every night. So um I know it sounds cliche, but we get the recharge from the crowd from being up there. I could be tired or whatever. As soon as I hit the stage, I'm not anymore. It's just like just the energy of being there. All the people we had, mostly sellouts through the whole thing, like through the whole tour. UK, Canada, um, all over Europe, all the United States, Australia, New Zealand. It was mostly sellouts, man. And when you have a crowd like that, it's just tiredness kind of just wanes away, and you're just in the moment with everybody. And that's pretty much how I feel like I got through every night. I mean, I personally have not. I don't think. I work. I've been working my whole life. I'm Jamaican, man. I don't shy away from work at all. But I don't think I've ever been that tired in my entire life. Like at certain points in that tour, like coming off of some of those runs, we get like a month off or something. I mean, there are times I just sleep for days, man. But it's not when you're doing your dream job, man. It's nothing that won't make you rise to the occasion, and there's certainly no reason that I'd ever complain about anything that makes me tired when I love doing it. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, those days off and that time off, it really matters. It's just how you could kind of imagine when you see basketball teams go on runs and they have the out of town 5 games in a row, and you know they're hobbling at the last game, but they're still playing hard in the fourth quarter on that last game before they get to go rest at home and get a home game or something. It's the same kind of thing, same analogy, and man, you know it. It's really hard to like not give your all, regardless of how tired you may be. It's hard to not give your all when you see people coming out and people want to see you and people paying to see you.
I think it depends on who you are, though. I mean, because for you and you guys have integrity, and I fucks with all you guys. You guys are all good people, solid people. I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah, it's hard for you guys not to give it your all because everything you do, you know, you put your hearts into it and everything like that. But like some people could just milk that shit, you know what I'm saying? And boom, I've seen some quick 20-minute joints, like, you know what I mean? So I just want to say I appreciate you for giving it all. And someone mentioned they were in Phoenix and people were checking whenever I posted footage of the New York whatever show. Yeah, this guy, it's me. Puff. So whenever whenever I posted footage, people were like, "Yo, I was there. I was here, and it was dope." Or and so like, I just want to thank you, man, for holding it down for hip hop. Because this is why I wanted to talk to you guys all together because I look at shit like on like historical levels, and to me, what you guys did last year with that, by touring for that with that album, that was historical to me. That's like a big thing for hip hop, and if it were done like I think based on the times we're in with so much stuff going on, it gets lost. But that was huge to me, and I really wanted to give you guys your props for that, and really say like that was a monumental thing for hip hop, and you did a lot for hip hop by sharing that album live all across the world like that, yo. Like that was big, big, big.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
And it needs to be talked about. That's why it's monumental. Yo. So I do want to catch you guys all together because like if you I don't know if like that shit should be documented. That shit should be the next like that shit is because it's phenomenal, the stamina and everything, man. Like I saw you guys like because for me I'm like in the New York show I'm like wait they're going like here tomorrow. It's not over. If it was over for me, I'm tired and shit. They're going to do more. So thanks, man.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Again, we're just we're hip hop fans, man, and we're doing our dream job. I mean, it's 30 years deep, right? We're looking at it like 30 years we've been doing what we love to do the whole time. And after 30 years, there's people still coming out for whatever reason. You know, we had we've gotten this big younger audience. Like I mean, in 2023 alone, we doubled our listenership on Spotify, and I'm just using them as a yardstick. Not saying that's the end all be all of notoriety, but I mean that's a big stat just to give an idea. And you know all of these people coming out, man, and yeah, I think it signifies something about hip hop and its audience, which is big and varied. But if a group like us, from you put out our first song in '91, our first album in 1993, if younger cats like, and you know our new audience is like, and you know our old audience, that's our you know our heart and soul, right? But our younger audience is like 15 to 27, and it's like, you know, half of our audience right now. It's like 15 to 27. And yeah, I think it's testament to the music that we made at that time, and also the landscape of music now. So hip hop is so big now. Over 30 years, things have changed a lot. It's grown to be the biggest music in the world, and it's been big for so long that there are these young kids that they only know what they've heard and what they, what they hear through commercial outlets and with some contemporary outlets. And all listeners of music, they reach an age to where at first, they're listening to what was their parents was listening to, or they're listening to whatever, what their uncles may have been listening to. But over the time and as technology advanced, they get to dig on their own, just like we did when we got to a certain age. We start to branch out and find out what we like as an individual. Yeah, now these kids, when they go through that same process in their life, they have everybody's discography at their fingertips. Now, when we did that, you had to go purchase something or get a tape of it from your friend, or this is when you're branching out from whatever's listening at home.
Right.
We had to purchase hard copies. Like, if I had everybody's discography at my fingertip when I started branching out and trying to find my own vein of what I liked musically, who knows what I would have ended up listening to? I don't know. I mean, I was fortunate that in my household we listened to everything. My parents were immigrants and they just listened to all different kinds of shit. So that was cool. But fortunately for us, for Souls of Mischief, a lot of these kids are they've been listening to what's been out their whole life, and they hear us and they're like, what? This exists? What is this? I've never heard nothing like this. I've never heard music like this. Where? Oh my goodness. And the kids get into the whole 90s listening retro, listening to it's happening. And for whatever reason, God is great. We're one of the groups that stick out with kids who start digging out into the world of music of the past, and they're just like they're like, well, this shit was dope. How come people didn't keep making this? And I'm like, well, we did. So now our whole discography is going up, and I just give thanks, man, because we've been here the whole time. We're one of those groups that we may have come out in the early 1900s. That sounds so crazy to say, right?
19.
But yeah, the late 1900s. That's late.
Like,
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's a funny joke that I hear around in my family, like a rapper from, you're a rapper from the late 19th century, it's late 20th century or whatever. But just fortunately enough, it's been a blessing for us to garner this new audience with these young kids. They're just, for whatever reason is going on in their heads, they're like, I like this. This sounds dope. I'm on this vibe, And even furthermore, even more than that, 93 Till in particular in the song, as a song, is a kind of timeless song because it embodies a vibe that all people go through, So it has a youthful vibe of that youth can get into really easily, but also once you're out of that youthful stage, it has a nostalgic vibe that reminds you of a youthful time. So we just continuously been able to have this audience from then from all the years going by to we went independent with the hieroglyphic stuff and did more music in the same vein, doing our own thing, not really following what everybody else was doing, just kind of just doing what we wanted to do, and got an art, through being the first group on the internet to have a website and sell our music and all of that stuff in 1995. We're able to get that audience then, and we didn't really have to do what everybody else was doing to stay in the music game, and started our independent label and been making music the whole time, pretty much, whether it's commercially viable or people knew about it or not. Our hardcore fans, which is a big ass cult following all over the world, which we established through these these blessings, have rocked with us, and now it's just kind of happening all over again with the young audience, and so we got our older hardcore audience, we got our in between audience from all of that time, and now this young audience, and with now streaming is what it is, and people can listen all over. Like the amount of marketing money it would have taken to get our music onto the ears of the amount of people it's hitting now was way more than Jive was willing to spend back then at that time. But fortunately now nobody has to spend it because kids are just looking to find out what they may like, or people are like, God, this song is dope, listen to it. And somehow we're through blessings, we're a benefactor of that, and people are rocking with us. And I'm just really happy about it because I'm a big old kid, man. I may be serious when it comes to work, but my life, I live it humorously jolly. You know, I've been telling dad jokes since I was a teenager. You know, I'm just that kind of dude. I'm just way more of a pleasant person, man. So just being able to live a life like that and do what I enjoy doing this whole time, I can't be more thankful. You know what I mean? I can't be
Of
more
course,
appreciative. So going into like being tired, I'll be tired for that. You know, I'll give my all every night for that.
of course.
If people paying to come see me 30 years later, I'll give them everything I got.
Yeah, no,
Just
no,
cause, just cause.
yeah, that's a that's really dope. So, uh, last week I posted about something and shared like, okay, I'm tired of people using the word legend and classic all the time. It's because there's been out 5, 10 years. Oh, they're legends, classic, whatever, right? And so, my criteria was like, yo, bare minimum 20 years before you even talk to me about this shit. And so what I'm getting at is here, like this right here, everybody, is a definition of a legend. 30 plus years in the game, consistent, doing it again and again, over and over at a high level. That's legendary shit. 4 or 5 years, 6, 10 years, no, 25, 30 plus years of consistent dope shit. That's legendary status. And that's classic music that 30 years later can rock out and rock this album all over the world and get new fans with it. That's called a fucking classic. So there we go. Thank you for that
Right
shit.
on, right on, good brother, man. I appreciate it, and I do, and I gotta say, and I say this a lot, man. It's surreal to me, you know, because when you're 17, 18, getting a record deal in high school, like scientifically, your brain hasn't formed enough. Like the frontal lobe of your brain doesn't fully form to like what, like 25 or whatever. So to really understand consequence and understand being able to look into the future really far and know what it's going to look like. You can't do that when you're young. It's kind of one of one of the great things of being young. You're doing things off pure spirit, not a bunch of built up experience yet. And I guess this is the way life goes, man. But for us, there's no way to even think that 20 years around will be what will I be doing in 20 years in hip hop. At the time when we were coming out, people were still saying hip hop was a fad and was going to be out of here and was barely getting any radio play and stuff like that. So for us to be here after going through all of that, it's really surreal to me every day. And I don't want to sound cliche, but I guess, you know, in my experience, cliches, true cliches are like always the realest shit. You know, the realest lessons, the realest gems sound super cliche, but I mean, every moment of this is surreal to me, man. I'm a hip hop fan, bro. Just hip hop raised me. You know, I did it all, man. I did it all. I was breakdancing, graffiti. Like, although I sucked at graffiti, you know, but I was a DJ before I was a producer. I was DJing in the 6th grade, bro. You know, I wrote my first rap in the 2nd grade. I'm a hip hop kid, man. I'm a straight B-boy, man. So I wasn't really, who would have known what was going to happen? We were just going off our vibrations, what we wanted to do, that counterculture movement of the time, and just for us to be here now. I mean, it's surreal to me every day. I'm thankful every single day, and man,
We're
it's
thankful
just a
we are too. We're very thankful too that you guys stayed together. I mean, like it's a wonderful story, man, and it's very important in the grand scheme of hip hop. So, can you share? I know it probably won't just be one, but a couple of your favorite um, stops on the tour.
yeah. Well, uh, um, one
That
of my favorite stops.
really
There's
stand out, that really stand out for you. Were like, damn, like yeah, like it really
there
stand.
were there were a lot, man. There were a lot. There was one time we were in I want to get all of this right. I don't want to be inaccurate, but I want to say we were in Bulgaria, and Yeah, I think I don't want to get. I don't want to. Yeah, I know this is immortal. Once it's out, I don't want to say it wrong. And then
Okay, we'll say Eastern Europe then. So you just
yeah, we were definitely in Bulgaria, but the city, I believe. Man, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it was Sofia,
in
right?
Sofia.
That,
I mean, that's the only city
yeah.
I know in Bulgaria. So I
Okay.
mean,
So,
I
so it's
Sofia.
all right. See, trust my gut. Trust my gut. So we were in Sofia, and there was a I want to say it was Sofia. There was like a a standing ovation, like a screaming ovation that lasted like minutes long, bro. Like it was like, and it just like kept going for minutes. So I flipped to my phone, started recording it, and they were just screaming. It was like towards the end of the show, and they were just, it was just the longest uh applause and ovation I had ever heard. I haven't even been to a concert myself with somebody else where people stood and screamed that long. I mean, a packed house at the top of their lungs, and we were just we were just on stage, just looking at each other, man. Like this is crazy, you know. Like when you tour a lot, especially when you're a group. I don't know how many other people go through this, but we develop a language on stage, so we could talk to each other while we're performing, while we're doing ad libs, and have full conversations about what's going on without anybody really knowing what's happening or what we're talking about. It's just something that comes with the experience of doing that for so long with the same people, and we were just like we were just looking at each other, and it was like there's never been a moment ever when we were looking at each other all just like, man, do you see this shit? Oh my God, what's going on? This is crazy. It's like just looking at each other and looking around. And I'm telling you, the crowd was screaming at, like yelling at the top of their lungs, like,
Yeah, it
ah,
wasn't just
like,
like it wasn't just like
it was,
it was like a
nah.
screaming like feverish thing for like that. You
Yeah,
know, it's
people crying and shit, like tears of joy. It was incredible. Also, yeah, it was crazy. And then when you think it's gonna die down, I think about how long a minute is. People don't really think that's long. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's not a very long time in the scheme of life. But think of an applause. Think of an ovation. That is a long ass ovation.
yeah, because
Think if you,
it's like like it stops.
yeah,
Let's say 30 seconds, maybe max. If it's really
word.
like
This is minutes,
minutes, where you guys
minutes.
are able to, where there's like it's creating a almost an awkwardness in terms of you guys even like in the flow of the show, like where you're like, whoa, what's going on? Like, so that's dope. But
Yeah,
the thing, man, I'm gonna keep saying it though. But that's the love that everybody got for y'all cats, man, and that's. I'm glad you got to see that because that's like that's how we feel, man. Like that's how everybody like. That's how we like. Motherfuckers is high road heads, yo. Like you know what I'm saying? Niggas all got I know so many people with the logo on their shit, man. So it was dope that you guys got to experience it and just and take it in because like
yeah.
that's crazy.
It's super humbling, bro. Super humbling. It like that awkwardness, but it's like all positive awkwardness,
Mm,
which is a
boy.
strange feeling in itself. Like it's like we just looking around and like you think it's gonna die down, and then it just ramps back up,
Yeah, no,
and they just keep going. I gotta give another example of a place that stood out. Paris, France. Up until that point, France had an ovation too. It was like a minute and a half, or a minute and 15 seconds, and that blew us away. We were like, it was so loud in there, it was ridiculous. A whole sold out crowd, and they did the same thing. And that's why when it happened in Bulgaria, we was like, damn, they're not stopping at all. This is like France, but like on steroids. So those are two of the places that stand out a lot. Um, Athens,
Greece. Mm.
yeah, Athens stood out. That was like a really I had never been there. I don't think any of us had ever been there. It was just wild, man. The crowd. Um, I don't want to leave any places out. There were so many dope
Yeah,
places, man.
it's dope
We did Croatia.
mentioning again like Europe because in terms of their love of for hip hop, you know what I mean? Like in particular, like it's just like they go nuts over there. Like they,
Stupid, stupid, man.
yeah.
I mean, there was one London. We did 4 shows at the same spot, all sold out, man. like 4 shows at the same spot. They were like yeah, it was wild. It was wild, man. I don't want to sell any place short. Everywhere was incredible, man. It
Yeah.
really was. But I know you asked a hard question, so I had to say something that stood out. I mean, there was a lot more, but just to give the dap to those people, I had never been through anything like that, to where people just were that vocal for that long. It was really incredible. But on a whole, it was just looking at all 125 shows, like I said, like 20 something countries. Um, it was just quite the experience, man. And man, it was really, really, really dope, man. Really dope.
What's the hardest part about being on tour? Because I know it's not. I mean, it's not all fun.
The hardest part,
Yeah.
the hardest part for me is I want to say, of course, like missing people at home, but I stay in constant contact, right, with my family and everybody that matters to me here. So that might be but I'm kind of used to that already. So it's kind of like I know how to do that. Basically, I know how to be away from home, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's an effort to deal with it as such. Every time, so that's like a regular hardship. But for this tour, the real hard part for me was how ham our schedule was. Like when Tajay and everybody was when Tajay first came with the idea to do 93 shows for our 30-year anniversary. This started being planned out in 2022. So Tajay was like, man, let's get it. I got this idea. 93 dates around the world. Let's just start how y'all down to do it. And I'm like, man, I'm down to do it. I just didn't even really take it super serious that 93 shows were gonna come together. I wasn't doubting, but my mind didn't let me process what 93 dates would be like. I was just like, man, if you can get them, let's do it. That's kind of was my attitude. And so he was like, all right. And so a lot of people, you know, uh had their hand in on making making the lineup come to fruition. But getting out there and like being like, okay, he's 12 dates in a row, no days off, 1 day off, it's a flying day. There's a stat. We were like the European first European leg. I mean, we were out. We barely had any days off. In the last 2 weeks of that leg, we were out there for like a month and a half for the first leg, and the last 2 weeks of it were all plane flights because we were in parts of Europe to where we couldn't drive. We did all the parts that we could drive for the first part of the European tour, and then the last 2 weeks of dates was like we're flying to another city, flying. That was the hardest shit I've ever done. Like 2 weeks straight of shows and flying and showing them flying and shows and flying, and that was rough. Like when I got home from that leg, to me, and some of the other souls have different, I'm sure may have different opinions, but to me, I was more tired after the first leg in Europe than I was after the whole U.S. leg, which was longer, which was more dates. U.S. and Canada was more dates than the first leg
But did you
in Europe.
have breaks in between though? Because you were saying you were doing a lot of back to like, so you were doing. Because I was looking at the schedule and I always like look to see like, damn, like just where cats having a break or whatever. Just interesting to me. So like, you were doing like 4 or 5 days in a row, like straight up.
Well, that was regular. Like that was a good week if we only did 5 days and got a day off. That was to me that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we only doing five because I mean, and the thing about it was consecutive. Yeah, back to back. The travel, the checking in the hotel, doing the sound check, going back to the hotel, doing the show, going back to the hotel, bouncing the next morning. Like we did. Yeah, there were 5 days is how you supposed to do. Like, I mean, the huge acts, they'll do like 3 days in a week. You know what I'm saying? Or 4 days in a week. We were like, I mean, six was a regular occurrence. 6 shows and then maybe 1 day off in the traveling day. But this is what we agreed to. It wasn't like we didn't have to do it that way. But if we wanted to maximize the original idea of 93 shows, and we ended up doing 125. But we were with it, and to me, to answer your question, that was the hardest part. The schedule. The schedule was no joke. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart, and not everybody can do that, man. And I'm saying to even have the the interest in you to where you can book that many cities is one thing. Most people can't even do that, right? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's quite an accomplishment to even book that many shows. Furthermore, to actually do them with that schedule, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if I was a solo artist and I had this level of notoriety, if I could be able to pull that off. I think having three other people in the group, and plus the two DJs, Break
Yeah,
Me Lou and Architect.
Breaking Lou and the
Yeah,
Architect held it great. But big up to my man Apathy. You know what I'm saying? Salute.
yeah,
Showing love.
yeah. I
Um,
saw Apathy out there. My guy, love that brother.
yeah,
My
that's,
guy,
that's family right there. Big up
family.
Pluto 7. So yeah. Um, yo, so then you came back. I talked to you for a minute. I'm like, oh, what up? Was good? Yeah, you like, yo, we're about to go back on tour.
Yeah,
So fucking, what's up with that? Cypress Hill, Souls of Mischief, Farside, right?
yeah. Cypress Hill, Souls of Mischief, Farside. We're leaving in like I
You
want to
said
say,
in a couple days.
yeah, yeah, about 9 days.
Yeah, that's why we scheduled this week. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Well,
yeah. Where is that? That's just a U.S. tour, right?
that's just a U.S. tour. Yeah. So I mean, one of the things that that happened with the beginning of the tour, because technically, so this is how we're doing it. To us, the anniversary isn't over because our album came out in September of 1993, right? So even though we started the tour at the beginning of the year, for us, it's still going and it's not going to end. The anniversary for us doesn't end till this coming September of this year. So we're just like, we just gonna keep it going. Now, one of the good effects from booking the tour last year, because once it was all booked and we were set to go, when we threw it out there, people were looking at the schedule like, yo, that's crazy. It started making noise like, yo, look at their tour list, look at the dates on there. That shit is nuts, right? So we got some good press off of that. Once we started hitting the road and doing the shows and they were all selling out and they were like ridiculously successful, that started reverberating through the industry as well. Like other promoters are like, okay, you didn't get us on this tour, we need to get our city too. We need to get our country too. And we started getting calls from agents and we started getting calls from record labels and stuff. Just
Falling
and
into
this is,
the hands. That made it even easier then.
I mean, it all just started happening after we hit the tour, and the tour was like doing well. It was like people, it just kind of reverberated in the industry for the stuff that we do, you know. And I mean, and you know, people were seeing us out there, bro. And just the interest started coming, so we were able to uh you know, connect with an agent in so the agent that we used for the tour last year wasn't somebody that we'd ever used before. And they're out of the UK, and they also booked the US portion of the trip as well, which is crazy for a booking agent out of the from another country to be able to put something together like that. So some US agents started being like, well, who's y'all agent for the US that's from here? And we were like, we don't have one, you know, like we rock with them out there in the US, in the UK, and in Europe, and they hooked this up as well, but like they don't represent us officially out here. And this is not to say nothing about them. We rock with them. We rock with 360 still. To, you know, they're hooking up the tour, the Hiero tour we're about to go on after this Cypress tour. We can get to that too. But yeah, so agents started hollering at us, and we ended up getting with this agent, and they've been able to connect us with other opportunities, which, and one of those opportunities being this Cypress Hill Far Side tour. And you know, it's like touring with family, especially really Far Side. I mean, it's hip hop family because we're all, you know, in the same, we're contemporaries, right? And we've known each other for mad years, and we've been really close with the Far Side all this whole time. So it's really dope to be rocking with them. But just that tour set off a host of new opportunities for us that we're taking advantage of, man. And you know,
Oh,
this, The new Souls record, fire too, bro. Fire. It's stuff on there that you'll like.
What you mean? What you mean stuff on that?
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. You
Hey,
my brother. My brother. My
uh,
brother.
yeah.
Nah. I mean, you know, we're in our Souls experimental bag, and we're 30 years deep, so we could do things that we want to, that, you know, whatever. But that said, the new album is fire. We were able to secure that deal. That kind of came together in the middle of, like, in between the U.S. tour, I believe. It was right after, like, Red Rocks, which is another noteworthy show that we did on the tour. Like, that's just an incredible venue to rock at. I think that was we've been there that was my fourth time there. I went with, like, Dale a few times, and I think that might have been Souls of Mischief first time there. But yeah, we just, you know, started talking with this label. I ain't really supposed to spill the beans or nothing like that. I guess it's kind of out there, but um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
that just came off of
your
us
call.
just being a, say
Well,
what?
I'm saying your call. You can share whatever you want or not.
Yeah, I know, man. I know you'll say
I'm just saying. I'm not.
that. My brother,
No,
my brother.
that's what I mean. When cats need to zip it, I mean, I respect that. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Now you
but I do
know,
got some. I do actually do have. I got a few other things, and it's crazy. It's 9:38. So, fucking I got anybody. Somebody tell me to score the UConn game, man. Um. So, check.
Yeah.
Well, so you got an album. The album's coming out, but then you said you're going on tour, right? After this, I was going to just make sure we cover that. After
So check this out. I was doing this thing while we were in Europe, and I would be on stage. I would be like, it would be dope to get the whole Hiero crew out here in Europe. We never been out here all together, and every time the crowd went stupid. And I did this thing where I pretended that Dell came out. He was gonna, like, he was out here with us, like, yo, want to see the Hiero crew? Come on, bring out Dell. The fuck you. And then the crowd would be like, and then I'll be like, I got you. And I was kind of like, it was kind of fucked up, bro.
I
I
remember when
gotta
you did
admit.
that. You did it in
Yeah,
somewhere. I think you did it.
I changed it up a little bit, like, because we were in the U.S., but I did it because I liked it so much as being a heel for a moment, because I ain't really a heel type dude, man. So
Yeah.
I enjoy playing the heel for that. But we were doing it so much, I started doing it in Europe, and the crowd was going so stupid that the promoters were like, let's get a Hiero tour out here. And so we were like, okay. And then once we got off the tour, all the promoters who saw the reaction to the crowd was like, got together and you know, put together a Hiero tour. So now Hiero is going out for the first time we ever been all together in Europe. We're going out I think in June. In June, yeah.
Hey.
All of us. And that all really came to fruition from just shouting out that wouldn't it be dope to bring the Hiero crew out to Europe for the first
Yeah.
time, and the crowd would just go dummy every time.
Fucking.
So yeah, and now it's happening, man. Like, you
I'm gonna
know.
say this, and I don't know if I ever shared this publicly with you, but I've shared it publicly. Yo, arguably the illest crew, bar for bar, on the fucking planet. No weak. So here's the thing: no weak links in the crew, yo. Like you can't say that about like other crews. You can see a weak link. No weak links in Hiero. Every casual, nasty. Come on, Festo, Pat, crazy. All y'all, crazy. Like so. I always say, yo, there's no weak links in Hiero, man. You guys is like Ginsu now. It's like just pull them out. So, yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Thank you, bro.
Europeans get to see that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
and man, like, for Dell, like, to come out with Dell, we'll have Dell, Domino, Cash, all of us, and never been out there all together. And you know, I don't know if many people know, but like, Dell wouldn't go. You know, he wouldn't travel for a minute because he had a really bad, serious accident out in when he was out there solo. I think he was in Denmark. There was like a blind spot on the stage, and anybody who's been on the stage can kind of imagine. Even if you haven't, you can imagine what it is. It's like an area. The whole stage looks dark, but there's an area that's dark that isn't stage anymore. You know, and if it's not lit well, you're not gonna see it. And yeah, Dale took a bad fall,
yeah, I remember.
like many feet, and, like, you know, cracked some ribs, punctured the lung. was in the hospital for mad weeks, and and just was like, I'm not speaking for him, but there's some trauma involved with
Sure.
that. So it's but for him to rise to this occasion and be like, man, the first time he's like, I talked to him personally, and he was like, man, I'll do it. I was like, bruh, Hiero all together in Europe. Yeah, like, how can you be 30 years, and for him it's even longer in the game? It's 32 for him, and still have firsts. How much of a blessing is that? And so we're like, the first time ever, he was like, I'm down, let's do it. So yeah, it's just dope to have the whole crew there, man, and even Dale willing to just step up and grab the reins on his own feelings about it, just for the sake of the crew. That's just like, I really, I honor that. I respect that tremendously.
That's dope, man. No, that's super ill. So I'm gonna ask you a couple quick things I just gonna jump around here. All right, so we're totally switching gears here. Me
You got it.
me and you are two MCs, right? This is a hypothetical situation. Wink, wink. So me and you are two MCs here, and you come at me on a record. Let's see. Yeah, you come at me on a record.
Mm-hmm.
I reply to you on a record. You come at me again on the record. Like, all right, is it? Would you then maybe apologize if you felt bad? But like, would you? Is it? I mean, forget the parties involved. Like, just saying, I'm asking about the principles here.
You
Like,
you slick,
no,
brother. You
no.
slick.
Because here's the thing. I don't want it because for me, it's always about the principles. To be honest with you, I don't care about the participants. I'm looking at, because otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. I'm talking about the principles. I don't care about who's involved. So that's why I'm trying to just keep it like, okay, am I
Yeah.
crazy here? Like, this. Let's say that scenario. Like, would you apologize for writing a diss record to somebody? Is a question I'm asking.
Well, wow, man. Uh, well, what I do always champion is someone protecting their peace, and someone that could be honest about protecting that peace, whether it's the most popular thing to do or not, whether it would be looked upon as favorable or not. It does take, it takes, all right, there's two ways of looking at this. All right, there's hip hop rules, and then there's like the soul of a person.
So I'm looking at hip hop
And
rules. I'm just looking at hip hop rules. Right now. Then we can go to the. I'm just looking at hip
so
hop.
so
Because
so
hold
since
on.
we talk since we talk about me and you,
Earlier you
go
said
ahead.
you said hip hop radio. You're a b-boy. Da da da. So I'm talking like Oakland, East Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
I hear
You know
that.
what I mean? East Connecticut.
I hear that.
I'm talking that shit.
I get you. Since the original example would be me, hypothetical example is me and you. Let's just say off the top, I love all the participants involved, right?
Okay.
Already off top. So if it's me and you or whoever it is, I love all of these participants. I think they're all great artists, and I think they're all dope. Going off the hip hop rules, I'm not supposed to apologize. I'm not at all, right? I'm not. This is what it is. This is the game of battles and disses, right? So on that note, using that criteria, I wouldn't do that. But on the other hand, I don't know what it's like to be on that level of things, and what I can say is that it must have been something deep to make a person want to even do that. There must be some stuff that I don't know, that I don't understand, because we're talking about intelligent people, very talented people, and I may not understand by hip hop rules and why that would happen, and I may not do that myself. But that said, I don't even want to say but. That said, I gotta respect the choice I wouldn't make. I gotta respect that he would make that or a person would make it. It doesn't look good by hip hop rules. You feel me? But I get the feeling that said participants, me and you, would both know that because we hip hop dudes. You know, we would know that this don't look good. So in my mind, I'm like, it's got to be more to it. And I don't know if I'm being angel's advocate here or whatever, but I personally like. Let's just put. I mean, it's really difficult. Me, I wouldn't even be battling my friend if someone's my friend. And if I'm battling somebody, it's somebody I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that I really got a problem with, or there's a real issue. You know, and so for me, I would wanna rub it in their face and put my foot on their neck personally. So you know, there's two sets of glasses to look through. But as far as just to really answer your question, as far as just straight up hip hop rules, that's not something I would do. Like, to get me to a point to even want to say anything about anybody, I'm gonna let them have it all. You know.
If you're gonna let that missile go, you're gonna let it go.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I must put on the record that I don't understand the circumstances on that level of the game. All I know is that I was still waiting. I mean, I want to, you know, I'm like, well, what's happening? You know, I was like everybody else, like, you know, but what I do know is I respect artists involved, and I know I'm not dealing with an idiot. I'm not dealing with a softie, and I know I'm dealing with somebody who really is 10 toes in the game. So there's got to be some information that I don't know that would prompt a reaction that I can't understand. And I try to give people, you let people have their own agency on things and try to understand there may be things I don't understand. Right. But as a b-boy, I don't, you know, I'm not in that's his upper echelons of shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm a fan of both of us. You know what I mean? This is a really tough question, and you got me all like, you know, trying to say what I'm trying to say without saying the right thing, man. But
I think you said it. I think you said it very well, man. Because there's two parts to it. So like, and that's why I always tell people, man, when you're having a discussion, you clarify what we're discussing, so then both people are on the same page. That's why I said just the hip hop shit. Yeah. Because yes, so yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, on the hip hop shit, all right, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, on the hip hop shit, that was like, I don't know, and you know, like, there will be consequences to said action, but it's brave to say the least. I'm not, you know.
So then let's look at the other part, man, because you and I have a show on mental health. So it's not. I mean, it's there's a bigger picture to it, and I appreciate you bringing the attention to that, because it's like, yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, damn, yo, some must be going through some shit to make him do that, knowing that in the 2024 era that we're in, you're gonna get dragged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, so, you gotta know he knows it. Yeah. Right? So it's how I'm looking at it. Like, so what is it?
You would think, or whatever, he's just off or whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying? You got to know that. So on that human side, man, which we have to look at, man, we're grown men with, you know, I got grandkids. So it's like, we got to look at that side. And so the human side is, yeah, man, like, there's something there, because he knows the rules. So he knows that that's probably not a good look, right? So then, you know, so whatever. But
yeah, hey man, you know, I started thinking today, I was like, is this some sort of advanced strategy? Like, he gonna pull the full rug under motherfuckers and be like, you know, ha, psych, nigga, here's the other 7 minutes to make it 7. I ain't getting off your neck. I'm like, what could happen? But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because the cats is different now, so
yeah, because a whole lot of shit is different, bro. Like,
yeah, it could be like some elaborate thing for like months or some shit, and then like you don't know what cats is doing. So I just wanted your take on the hip hop aspect. If I spoke on it today, but I mean, I was just
I hope I didn't shoot myself in the foot. I'm gonna wait to see what the comments look like.
I mean, the people that fuck with my shit is, I mean, I got Homage Crew.
I fuck with your shit, so
niggas,
I know what they on.
Like,
I know what they on.
They like, yo, like, you gotta strike. Again, they're looking at the hip hop shit. You gotta strike first or whatever. It ain't no fucking question. So we, you know, we clarified the hip hop part of it, which is what I was just like, man, am I crazy here? Like, do we not do this? Yo, real quick, since we didn't talk really during last year, and I had some strong opinions on the 50 years of hip hop and whatnot and stuff like that. I mean, just from your perspective today, 2024, April 8th, like A plus State of the Union address on like this rap. Because when people say hip hop, I mean, I'm not talking right now. I'm not talking all the elements. I'm talking just like rap music, hip hop music. So like, what's your like? You're like just good, bad, ugly. Like just what's your state of the union? How you see it? I mean, and I always appreciate this. I always appreciate your perspective, man, because you're a positive dude. I want to be. That's why I want to be around you because you make me happy like being around you. So like it's never like when you share. I appreciate like you looking at the other side of shit and looking at like the like always the like the heart part of shit. I mean, I appreciate it about you. So
Thank you,
so
bro.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about. I mean, I ain't gonna carve you up, man.
You good at this, man? Nah,
So
appreciate you,
yeah,
brother.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, just where are you at with this as an observer and a participant?
Man, there's a lot of things there are things that I love about the situation. There are things I think are really horrible about it. One thing I think on the more commercial level of hip hop, the integrity is at an all time worst. The subject matter, like, it's just really some real low vibration shit going on. And the thing about it is that's always been around, right? But there's that's always been around because you're dealing with commercializing and packaging up raw shit. And you got to dumb it down to make it commercially viable. That's all music. That's not just hip hop. Hip hop is just one of the more, it's the strongest music because it's so vocal and so you're able to emote so much more than just more directly. It's more conversational. But and there's a whole bunch of reasons why I think this is so. But what is being propped up or money being put into to be like the biggest shit and the biggest stars and the biggest type of songs. And I'm not talking about like the people who still keep the hip hop mores and still think skills matter. And I'm not talking about like Cole or Kendrick or none of them, but I'm talking about like just in general, like what our kids are listening to. It's just, I think it's just some real low vibrational shit going on. I think that's always been the shift ever since the industry figured out how to monetize hip hop and what would sell the most and how it would fit into the socio-economic political schemes that are already going on in the culture of America. I just think it's at an all-time low when we're looking at even who our girls are looking up to, who our dudes are looking up to, the information that they're getting from these being their musical heroes. I don't think it's enough balance. It's like, for instance, if like people are like, oh man, don't say any big words, and it's not even a big word. Don't say anything of substance. That shit is lame. Oh, why you ain't talking about like, it's like, oh, I can't listen to that shit. It's like intelligent. You know what I'm saying? It's like when that's the norm with the youth and stuff, it's troubling to me. Now, granted, there's always been all kinds of
Of
stuff,
course,
man, but the way it is now,
it's
I
it's
mean, well, I had
it's
heroes.
imbalanced
I had heroes.
now, though. You know what I'm saying? There's not a
It's mad
It's
imbalanced.
not. It's
Yeah,
not like you could always have your Luke Skywalker. You can have whatever your ratchet. You can have the ratchet. I like. It's just the imbalance of.
yeah. It's
And
and people who have no clue and they're learning about who we are from this is what they think, and not like that matters so much, but more so what we think of what we think of ourselves. What the younger generations are looking up to, like, give them options. And I don't know, I'm not a yeah, I like what I like, and I'm not like a dude that tells people they should like what I like. But when it comes to the whole, when we're talking about society and where we're moving it as a community on a whole, how music affects that comes into the conversation for me. And that's one of my biggest problems with in my State of the Union address on hip hop is that, like, again, I was saying I had heroes, man. I personally listened to all kind of hip hop growing up. I listened to hip hop before there was really divisions in it. I listened to hip hop after there were divisions and like shit on all sides of the pie. Um, but there was always representative heroes that I could look up to and that would give me shit that would help me in life as opposed to hurt me. Um, and even even when you got information that was like kind of dark or negative, it was given in a poetic. I don't want to say poetic, but from intelligent people who knew that who would say other things as well. Like I'm not going to go into all the different artists and stuff, but I'm saying to your point, there's a complete utter lack of balance, and and as much as I was raised by hip hop, so are all the subsequent generations. They're all raised by hip hop too, and even more so now that it's even bigger. And what they're being raised on is troubling to me.
Right.
The lack of variety, and it's coupled with a bunch of other things like social media. Like it's a lot of things that are like it's making people gonna make their own life harder for them later, and that makes life for us all as a whole hard for all of us.
That's
And that doesn't mean people don't have their own responsibility to make their life work and do things to make them successful, because we all bear that responsibility as individuals in any nation, in any society. But it's you can kind of see what people want, whatever powers that be want people to think and want people to be doing based off of what's out there. And I think it's just it's exponentially more than ever, and it's glaringly off balance, and nobody gives a fuck. Or like, I don't want to say nobody, but it's alarming how little people who can make a difference give a fuck, you know. And this ain't me on a pedestal trying to say a bunch of shit. This is just my sincere answer to your question. I only be on this when people ask me. I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but that's my honest issue with hip hop right now. It's like I have a son. He's about to be 23. I make a hardcore effort to make sure that he learns from me and learns things from me, and understands what he's getting from his hip hop when he listens to it, you know. And I've been doing that my whole life, and I'm around enough kids his age to realize that kids are really looking at this shit and being like, this is a normal way to be. And when you're mad young, you don't know what the future looks like, but I've been here long enough to be like, doing certain shit that people are learning now is going to be bad for a whole lot of young people, and it's going to start showing in the years to come, and that's disturbing.
That's facts, man. Unfortunate facts, and unfortunately, we got to get ready to end. But we don't want to end on a super negative note like that. But that's real talk, though. It ain't even. That's just what it is, man. So, we got to get ready to get out of here. What's immediately next on the schedule for you is what? The Cypress Hill, Souls of Mischief, Far Side, right?
Yeah, Cypress Hill, Souls of Mischief, Far Side. Take a little break, come back, do Europe in the UK with hieroglyphics, and we have a bunch of Hiero Day is coming in September. We have a bunch of other dates all in between there. Like, we're nonstop. Souls of Mischief supposedly releasing an album this summer, probably late summer. We got I can't even start talking about who was on it, but we got some cool people on it. Some it's kind of like, you know, we always do something different. If we look at our discography, this is gonna be no different. It's gonna be us doing something different, but doing us still. Looking forward to that. That we're working on a Hiero record. I just heard a whole bunch of the Domino Dell record. I don't even know if I should have said that, but that shit is stupid. Just making music, bro. Making music. Building business. You know, I'm got a bunch of side stuff going on as well. And more so than anything, I'm happy, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm incredibly thankful, you know, just for life, man. And it, you know, it has its ups and downs, and we don't grow without adversity. And I continue that'll come as long as you living and striving to do something. But I'm enjoying it all, man. I'm enjoying it all. The work, the joy, the peace, and I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
That's great, man. I mean, that's wonderful to hear. It's always wonderful. I love you, man. You're a dope dude, dope person. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the music. Like you're a good person, solid, man, solid. This dude's solid, yo. And I hate all these rap niggas, man, for real. Fuck these dudes, yo. But like, You know what I'm saying? Like A plus. A lot of these guys are assholes, and I mean, you guys are really solid dudes, man. All of you guys are just down to earth, just good people, man. So I really appreciate you, man. We really do. And so, in between all of that shit you're doing, we gotta catch up for episode of
Yo,
Crazy.
yo,
So
man, I tell you, I have my goals list that I read to myself three times a day, and I'm gonna say no more. That what we do has never left my scope. It was just a wild ass year, but it's still something. It's a very high priority to me, and I'm glad we were able to do this to keep the link lit because we're not stopping, bro.
yeah,
I,
so
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to
yeah,
continuing.
you're on tour. So no, so I'm just saying. All I'm saying is the next time we catch up, we'll fit it in, and it'll just be an episode. Like I get it, yo. I'm starting the business. I'm busy as hell. So like
I know. I see you. I see you,
we
brother.
moving.
I see you.
You got to move or whatever. What else we gonna do, yo? Like you got to keep going forward. So I mean, so yeah. I mean, let's Well, I'm just saying the next time we link up, it'll be an episode of Talking Crazy. That is our monthly show on mental health. I mean, our brother's
Yeah.
moving all around the world right now, so spreading this hip hop vibe. So, but yeah, it's an important show for both of us. It's usually a therapeutic show. It's a great show. So all of the past episodes of Talking Crazy are on the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel. So make sure you check them out. So yeah, man, it was good seeing you, brother. I love you, man. I like from the bottom of my heart, man. You like a solid dude. Like so, I can't say that enough. I just
Man, I love you as well, my brother, and I feel the same way, man. You my brother, man, and we shall continue, bro. We gonna keep it lit. We keep the link lit,
of
and blessings to you and the fam out there,
course,
man. I see. I know you bust some moves, man.
of
Continued
course.
success, and man, I'm always in
No,
your corner, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Same here. So we'll link up soon and stay in touch. And yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to get to. I was the Detroit show because somebody kept mentioning the Detroit show. Like I gotta I'm gonna be in New York that weekend, but whenever I'll be looking at the list, be like, yo, hey,
Whatever happens. You in wherever you can make it. So you
so
know how
now
that
I'm
goes.
so it's great. I love following you guys around, man. Like it's the best. So appreciate you. Salute to everybody joining in. We'll get this up. This has been an episode of Talking Crazy with our man A plus. You know what I'm saying? I love them fucking glasses, yo. You
These
need those real
prescriptions, man.
those some sporty joints or like them real prescription joints.
These real prescriptions,
Uh,
man. Real
yeah,
prescriptions, man.
yeah, but I need some soon too. So salute, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, man. I'll talk to you. All right,
Love, brother.
one
Peace.
100. Peace. Love you. Peace.